Video number 249, Converting American Units. Here are the very popular conversions. The one that people many times forget is the feet to miles. There are over 5,000 feet in 1 mile. It's 5,280 feet. Another one on here, 4 quarts equals a gallon. One of the ways you can remember that is simple conversion from quarters to a dollar. There's 4 quarters in a dollar, so therefore there's 4 quarts in a gallon, quarter gallon. So 1 quart is 1/4 of a gallon. All right. So here are 4 questions we're going to look at in this video. How many yards are there in 2 miles? 3.5 gallons equals how many quarts? 7,000 pounds is how many tons? 960 hours is how many days? So here we are. How many yards are there in 2 miles? Well, I have this problem worked out 2 different ways. The first one is basically allowing us to convert one thing at a time. So if you have 2 miles, if you multiply by 5,280, that converts those 2 miles to feet. And the reason that happens, the way we do this, you just substitute the word mile for 5,280. So then 2 miles means 2 times those feet. So now I have 10,560 feet. Okay? Then I'm going to convert the feet to yards. Now, what you do is you have to decide, are you going to multiply or are you going to divide? Now that would be this method. I'm not a big fan of this method, but in each step you can take a logical approach. Obviously, we were going to multiply by 5,280 because it takes a heck of a lot more a heck of a lot more feet to cover a particular amount of miles. That's why we would increase, so therefore multiply. At this point in the game, at the 10,560 value, 10,560 feet, in order to get yards, we would then divide because it doesn't take as many yards to cover the feet. So that's why we would divide to lower that amount. So then we end up with 3,520 yards. Now this right here is going to be a method you're probably going to want to embrace, especially if you expect to take chemistry and physics. Especially for chemistry, there's a lot of unit conversions. To convert miles to yards, what we would do is this. We would multiply by a value of 1. Alright, I'm going to say that again. You'll multiply by 1. Okay? This fraction is a value of 1. What's the definition of 1? Well, it means you have the 7 divided by 7, or whatever number's in the numerator divided by the denominator. And what I mean by that is this. How do you express 1 as a fraction? Okay? And as long as you have the same value in both the numerator and denominator, you have found the number 1. Well, this is the same value. Therefore, that fraction equals 1. Okay? Same thing here. 1 yard equals 3 feet. So therefore, that's a value of 1. So we have not multiplied by anything other than 1. Now, the trick here is to place the 5,280 feet in the numerator and the 1 mile in the denominator. Why did I choose to do that? The reason is because we want miles to be canceled out. So we want the miles to cancel out. That's why we would put miles in the denominator. So then we also do not want feet. So if we want the feet to cancel out, we multiply by another value of 1 and we put the feet in the denominator. That's how I knew to put a yard in the numerator and feet in the denominator. So basically what ends up happening is you end up canceling the feet, you cancel the miles, and you're left with just simply yards, and you just take the numerical values, multiply and divide them, you're all set. So it's just 2 times 5,280 divided by 3, bam, 3,520. Let's take the next one, which is 3.5 gallons is how many quarts? Well, 3.5 gallons, we start off, we write down 3.5 gallons. I use decimals. I'm going to multiply by 1, okay? Then I chose to put 4 quarts in the numerator, and I chose to put 1 gallon in the denominator because I don't want the gallons there. The question is how many quarts. So whatever unit you want, you put that for the numerator, and then you put the increments that you want canceled out in the denominator. And there you are. So therefore, 3.5 times 14 is in fact 14. So 14 quarts. Next one. 7,000 pounds is how many tons? Again, you want to multiply by 1. So we're going to take our 7,000 pounds, we're going to multiply by 1 ton over 2,000 pounds. This fraction equals 1 because of the fact that, oh, excuse me, that's 2,000 pounds. All right, hopefully people stuck around for the video. It's 2,000 pounds. So we multiply by 1 ton over 2,000 pounds. The pounds cancel. We're left with 3.5 tons. And then the last one, 960 hours equals how many days? Again, we want the hours to be eliminated, so we put the 24 hours in the denominator. We put 1 day in the numerator. As we have to multiply by a value of 1, we're left with 40 days. So there you have it, American conversions, and we'll talk to you later.